watch that yet.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to another episode of Top 5. Woo!
That's right.
My co-host is here. He's hosting on his channel, and he's not doing video games.
I know.
It is Fire Guy Ryan.
It's so exciting. Hello, it is me, Fire Guy Ryan, or just normal Ryan, if you're so inclined. Today we're going to be talking. Oh no, hold on. I've got Jeffrey. Jeffrey, come on.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing tonight?
Our first official guest on Top 5, Jeffrey Comic-Con Henson.
Thanks for having me tonight. I appreciate it.
Well, we had to bring in a third at some point. I mean,
yeah, it's always good to start your at the bottom and work your way up too. So.
Well, we've peaked.
Yeah, you don't want to peak with your guests too soon.
Where can we go now? But downhill is really.
Oh, no, I'm thinking you can go anywhere of it.
Well, we had talked after the Lost episode if we wanted to get back to doing comics again.
Yes.
So Jeffrey was definitely somebody on the top of our list because he has so many great knowledge of comics. He's always into comics. He's always bringing something real positive to comics and to the YouTube channel. So he was definitely the guy that we decided to bandy around a couple of our comic ideas. So what are we doing tonight, Ryan?
We're breaking down top 5. Okay, this title is a mouthful, and I get it wrong every time I say it. Top 5 comic book portrayals in film.
There you go.
Is the rules. We're not doing any TV shows. As much as I wanted to pick Charlie Cox, he's not allowed. No Daredevil here unless you like Ben Affleck. I didn't pick him.
And I will say, we really debated offline on Instagram and whatnot this topic to really narrow the field to come to an idea for this that would really be logical for all of us. And the term we boiled down to was iconic, but we've used several. The idea is that we are not looking for just the best actor. We're not just looking for the best film. We're really looking at the performance that was so close to our feelings about that character, so closely connected to how we feel about that character, that they are almost now melded with that character for us. So iconic is a really broad term. I really quickly want to throw out this example that for me, I kept coming back to of who I was not picking.
All right.
And I don't think anybody in our group picked this person, but I can't guarantee. The person I'm talking about is Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And I did not pick Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, even though I own most of the movies that he's in. And I really do enjoy the films, and I really do enjoy him. He's incredibly, insanely talented, and he is very good in those movies. But for me, he is not Wolverine. And he is not the vision I have for Wolverine when I picture him in movies. And so I love the character, and I love the actor, and I love the movies for the most part, most of them. But for me, he is just not iconic in that role. And that's kind of where I went with it.
At some point during this discussion, we're going to get pretty deep into the overall X-Men cast.
Yes, I have a feeling that they're going to come up a bunch, much like some of the DC failures and such. Right. But I also went with it this way. And you know, if I was going to pick, I went and looked at the character in the comics was very important in my selection because I wanted to have a performer that almost like became as closely connected to that character as the comics version. And so for me, it would be like, if we were doing TV, it would be Linda Carter, right? Like Linda Carter is Wonder Woman. I love Gal Gadot and all these things. Linda Carter is Wonder Woman and will always be Wonder Woman. She is now so closely connected to my vision of that character that when I read the comics, I hear Linda Carter's voice from when I was a kid. Like, she's Wonder Woman. And I always love it when someone draws Wonder Woman in that like classic 80s style, because I'm always like, that's Wonder Woman. So that's just my little, I don't know, point of view for when I went through and picked this list, because I know I'm going to upset a lot of people with my list because for me, it's got to be something where the comic book character was so perfectly portrayed. It was now iconic for me and connected to the vision I had for that character.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes because I think we're going to have like differences of opinions on certain ones.
Oh, legit. Sure. And I predicted before we went live that this is a 2-shot night.
We need to establish the ground rules. Yes, if we have any matching picks, then some sort of beverage of choice shall be consumed.
Yeah, and I'm saying that there's also a cap on this, because if we have like a 5-person panel, this could get nasty. So the cap is, if one of mine appears on anybody's list, that's a shot. But then I never have to do it again. If it's on everybody's list, I don't have to just keep going. There's a 5-drink cap for me. I do not need to do 10. If all 5 of mine are all the same as Ryan and all the same as Jeffrey, I am not going to be on the floor. I have to work tomorrow.
Yeah, me too. So,
and it's just this top 5, because of course we end every episode with a much shorter, less chat-worthy kind of top 5 that I don't have to worry about that one. Although last time Ryan and I did one in that section. There's some awesome people in this chat. Jeffrey, why don't you shout out the chat a little bit?
Oh, man, we got Carlito Classico just showed up, our buddy right there. Barbarian Kung Fu, always good to see you. Alec from Whitewell Comics, if you don't know him, definitely go check out his channel. He's a great guy. Cassie Madonia, always good to see you. My buddy, Mr. Garrett, love seeing you, buddy. I got issues. How are you doing tonight, my friend? Jason P. Budget Collecting, good to see you. Wingnut Steve, thanks for stopping by. We've got TJ, now the official Slab Dragon Watson in the house. Thank you for stopping by tonight. Kyle Carson, always good to see you, my friend.
Jeffrey, you kill it at this, man. You are like the great legend.
Don't want to forget my buddy Stacy Gillette. I appreciate you stopping by tonight, Stacy. Always good to see you. Comics with Bueller is in the house. Good to see you, Bueller. Kachung, good to see you, man. Good to see you, Kachung. Hope you're doing good. John's Comics with Kids. I think I've seen him around once or twice.
Yeah. Discovery Bay, he's in here.
Discovery Bay, Guitars and Comics. Good to see you. Caleb
Bueller
Murphy
just jumped in.
Yay.
Bueller.
Caleb Murphy, I just talked to him on Instagram the other day. It's good to meet him finally, man. Appreciate that.
I'm looking forward to with you eventually, Caleb. We need to.
So we also need to qualify that people who come on our show do not need to join Ryan and I in this festival of debauchery. Jeffrey is allowed to absolutely abstain from the ludicrousness of whatever it is Ryan and I get into with our shots. Sure. Guests of the show do not need to participate in the debauchery. I joked with Jeffrey that he could do like 10 push-ups every time that we make him do physical labor of some kind.
Worst.
I got some alcohol right here. We got Matt Rupel on the chat as well. I forgot him. Good to see you.
Hey, Matt.
All right. So who goes with their first pick on their list? I'm going to get my alcohol ready here. I know that this is at least a 2. I'm saying it's a 2-shotter.
You think?
I'm almost guaranteeing that I'm doing 2 tonight.
I came prepared for 2. Yeah.
I have no problem starting if you guys want.
All right, you're the guest. You go for it, buddy.
Okay, we're gonna start with our top 5, the best, right? Number 5. So for number 5, I've got Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. And I was gonna go with Iron Man 1, but you could probably go with all of those if you want. To me, I think in my head I thought Robert Downey Jr. was Iron Man before Iron Man came out.
And it's actually a great point, Jeffrey, that for us, this could be one movie that we're crediting this person for, or it could be all the movies that they've done as this character.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily need to narrow it down. It's however we feel. I mean, I hated Iron Man 2, but it's not hurting my respect for Downey Jr. as nailing that part.
Yeah, I figured if you wanted to narrow it to one movie, I would go with the first one just because that was the original Iron Man movie. I really enjoyed that one. As a kid, I watched the cartoon in the late 80s, early 90s. And when they had Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, that's exactly what I was like, man, that is dead on perfect Tony Stark. And that's what I thought at least.
Absolutely. And I noticed that Ryan didn't take any drinks and I didn't take any drinks. Well, what's he got? He does have Robert Downey Jr. Oh,
is that your number 1?
Uh-huh. I think, yeah. He's my number 1, man.
Alec, it feels weird being on a show that Alec is not on. I'm just telling you right now, Alec, it is kind of odd. But we'll do our Battlestar Galactica soon. And Ryan's got to go back and start rewatching
Comic Zombie. Good to see you, Comic Zombie. Thanks for stopping by tonight.
So, yeah, I'm the only one without a Robert Downey Jr. I will say he made it to my top like 7 or 8, but I did dismiss him.
We got Pop Dot Comics.
He did not make it.
Jojo, thanks for stopping by. What?
Bueller says, I love this show, but I can already tell it's going to frustrate me.
Yeah. I think Jeffrey got it right though. I mean, like even when you're watching, when you see Iron Man and Tony Stark, that is Robert Downey Jr. They're like synonymous. For me, that was, I can't really think of, I guess you guys can because he's your number 5 and number 0. I can't think of anybody who like so effortlessly slid into that role. I'm interested to hear what your guys' future picks are because we let the cat right out of the bag.
Yeah, I mean, I really did consider him. I think he would have been like 7 or something on my list, but it didn't end up happening. Yes, I am definitely controversial with my denial, but I will say there's a couple on my picks that I'm sure there will be people in the audience who are like, I don't even know what that movie is.
I can't wait to see which one of those are.
So, I also have only one of the MCU characters on my board.
Interesting. Okay.
So like the MCU proper. So here we go. There he is. My only MCU person is Samuel L. Jackson. The reason that Nick Fury is now black in the comic books is because he is so unbelievably iconic as that part that they had to fix the character in the comic books. Samuel L. Jackson is so freaking good and so perfect as this character. He's duplicitous. He's got lies. He's got pizzazz. He's got snazz. And he just shows up. You cannot stop him. No, Nick Fury is not a white guy anymore because Samuel Jackson is so good. You can have, I'll tell you what, I got issues. You can have David Hasselhoff. There's your white Nick Fury. And you can go enjoy the door now. So Nick Fury is perfect. If you watch Winter Soldier, Nick Fury is stellar. And that whole car chase with him, I'm in.
Okay, I need to rewatch Winter Soldier then because I considered Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, and then I realized that maybe I need to rewatch Winter Soldier, but in my head, he is on the periphery of the entire MCU and never really gets a moment in the spotlight to shine. And I'm hoping that's changing with Captain Marvel. It appears like that's going to be the case, but I didn't consider Nick Fury to be integral enough. And I can also...
I've reread certain storylines with Nick Fury in the comics now, and it is Nick Fury is Samuel Jackson. His voice starts coming out.
I got to be honest, I didn't even consider him.
I
don't know.
I got issues in Fury. He's like, Nick Fury is white. What is wrong with you people?
That has nothing to do with it. I don't know. I just never even thought about him really.
David Hasselhoff is a saint. He brought us Baywatch. Oh my gosh!
Can't argue with that.
All right, you're up, Mr. Jeffrey.
Am I again already?
It's your turn.
Nice. So so number 4, I got Penguin from Batman Returns, Danny DeVito.
Ooh, good one. Let's hear about it.
I don't know. When I think of Penguin, that's exactly what I think of. Some short little round guy with a big old long nose. I see him on the covers of the comic books and it still to me resembles him. And
Danny DeVito, right?
Yeah, man. It's just.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I thought it was perfectly well casted, man.
Yeah.
I got issues is losing it, but I love T.J. Watson. They molded the ultimate Nick Fury after Sam Jackson. Perfect casting. That's just honestly, the personality of that character, it matches well. But Batman Returns, underrated movie. And for me, it's just the eating the fish freaked me out in that movie.
Dude, I know that was great, right? That was so good, and it looked so nasty when he's chewing.
And I always think of Penguin from the animated series as this kind of snooty, rich, upper classy guy, and then in that movie, he's just so gritty and nasty.
Yeah, I like
that's what he's good at. You got to watch Always Sunny. He's super nasty. Love that guy.
Yes, I agree. Danny DeVito, underrated. It's Always Sunny. The guy is amazing. Absolutely phenomenal.
I did use that criteria for one of my picks later on, is that this person that I picked was so good in that role that they have not used them in any future movies because for whatever reason, like that character kind of set the bar, and maybe they're too scared to try and reuse that character with a different actor. I don't think Penguin's been in any movies.
No, that was it.
Yeah,
that's the only movie. Danny DeVito is the leftovers that were used to make Arnold. Don't worry, I'm sure Arnold is going to come up a little later in this evening.
Quite possible.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, what's your number 4?
I haven't even showed my number 5 yet.
Didn't you show it? Yeah, Iron Man.
That was my number 1.
Oh, dude, that was your number 1. Holy cripes.
Yeah, I thought I went a little quick there, man. Like, I was wondering why it was my turn again.
All right.
Mine don't do the cool drop reveal like yours does. I gotta figure something out.
Oh,
Thanos.
I went with a recency bias.
I thought about that one though.
Yeah,
I did think about it.
This, I gotta say, for me, when we picked this topic, there were a couple people that jumped into my top 5 pretty quick, and they didn't move. I struggled with like number 3 and 4, and then number 5 was kind of always was up in the air pretty much until last night. But I landed on Thanos. I can't quite explain it, but I feel like it's going to be hard for somebody to come along and do Thanos again if they ever try to. I hope they don't, at least not for forever. But I don't know. Josh Brolin channels something pretty
and top-notch special effects added into that just makes it all the more. I mean, that early scene in Infinity War when they're battling on the ship and Hulk tries to take him down and Hulk just gets handed, his life to himself. It's just a great scene. Absolutely phenomenal. And it sets up the power of that character in a big way.
Not Josh Brolin as Jonah Hex. Matt Ruppel, that's a great call.
That's a different list.
That's a movie I skipped. I could tell.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, I am sorry to say, no, there's no more MCU on my list. That was the one. So let's see here. Number 4, Mickey Rourke in Sin City as Marv. Okay. I'm sorry, but he is Marv. Between the special effects and the makeup and his attitude, nobody could do the character of Marv in Sin City the way Mickey Rourke does it. Mickey Rourke is Marv 100%. And the fact that I have a list of movies with Mickey Rourke on it as a good thing is rare and shocking.
I knew you'd have some oddball pick.
Caleb Murphy says, John, that he called it. Really? All right. I'm glad that other people feel the same. Honestly, that first Sin City movie is underrated because of how bad the second one is. But his portrayal of Marv, it's just spot on. It is that character. It is 100%.
Was the second one really bad?
It was really weak, yeah. Really shockingly weak.
That's a shame.
Sin City is epic, I agree. Caleb and I are just on pace with each other.
Bam.
I never even crossed my mind. I got to say, Sin City as a whole didn't cross my mind.
I've never seen it.
Issues. So. Everybody is going to hate my list, and I'm so okay with that. That is the whole point of the show is controversy. And I'm still sitting here with just nothing.
Man.
Just nothing.
That's why you picked Mickey Rourke and Samuel L. Jackson.
No, I picked those two legit. I will say Samuel Jackson and my number 6 pick were like right there.
Who was that?
I went with Samuel Jackson because, again, I do strongly feel like that was good casting. All right, so back to you, Jeff Fripp.
I think it's Ryan. He hasn't even done his 4th one yet.
Well, he's got 2 revealed. I've got 2 revealed, so it's your turn to reveal your 3rd.
Okay, number 3, I got Hulk from Ragnarok.
Ooh.
That's I love the Incredible Hulk, and to me, that's like the best portrayal we've seen of him yet. It was pretty funny, pretty witty. He had a little bit of like life to him, so I had to throw it in there, and I think it's good, man. What are you gonna do?
Jason P says, I picked crazy so that I would avoid drinking. I do work tomorrow, but that is not my main concern. I speak the truth from my perspective for sure. Euler says, John, you just made the list.
Yeah, I'm on that list too.
Apparently, any list with Mickey Rourke on it is not going to be a list you want to be on, probably. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, I do agree that that is the definitive Hulk in any movie that we've had. The definitive film version, 100%.
For sure. And
Barbarian Kung Fu is asking if CGI counts, and that was a question I grappled with while choosing this list. But I think yes.
As a portrayal, best portrayal as a comic character, you know, like
it depends on what year you're talking about, I guess.
Ever since the effects got good enough that you have somebody like Andy Serkis doing that amazing Gollum portrayal, like at this point, it counts equally. I don't know how you can skip it.
If you're talking about like just doing a voiceover for like, I don't know, I almost said Jar Jar Binks, but even he was on the set in the suit, and
you know,
well, you could go with like Rocket Raccoon, right? Because like he's not on the set, and they completely take out Sean Gunn and they put in an animated figure and then a new voice, so that's nothing of the original performance except what the actors play off of. That's the only thing that's left.
Yeah, man.
I considered Hulk too. I put Mark Ruffalo in the back of my mind for a bit, and then I thought about it. Like he's the third version of the Hulk. They've replaced him twice, and then I thought, if Mark Ruffalo was replaced, how okay with that would I be, or like how upset would that make me? I really like how he does, but I do also think that there is room for I don't know actually. I want to defer to Jeffrey. Jeffrey's got the Hulk info, and I do not. I don't know the Hulk, so.
I was just going with it for the Hulk, not necessarily for Mark Ruffalo.
But it has to be a Hulk on a Jeffrey list.
Yeah, man, you can't hate on that. That's my best portrayal of the Hulk. I felt like it wasn't a good enough thing to put like as my number one, but there was no way I was going with it as a number 5, so I threw it in the middle.
Got Issues is already talking about how he's gay for Bradley Cooper, so now we got a whole other layer to the panda in the chat.
I don't even know who Bradley Cooper is. Who's Bradley Cooper?
Trash pandas.
That's good.
All right, Ryan, is it your third? Your time for your third one, which is technically number 4.
I honestly don't remember what I wrote. Let's see.
All right, good times.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Ooh, Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I considered that one.
Very excited.
I agree with you that probably is the best portrayal of Spider-Man yet, but I don't.
We're doing a top 5 worst version right after this, right?
Yeah. Although I have some people are gonna feel like this is mine.
True. I almost put Tobey Maguire on my top 5 worst.
Ooh,
yeah.
Burn on Tobey.
I can see that.
So talk about why you picked Tom Holland then.
I think each Spider-Man actor has been an improvement over the last one. And I guess as I was just the point I just made with Jeffrey and the Hulk kind of holds true. This is the best one so far, but there is a little room for improvement. But I don't know, man. Tom Holland, he nails it. Like
you can start putting Jake Johnson pretty high on the list. I know we're not doing voice actors straight up, but Jake Johnson in Edge of the Spider-Verse kills it.
Still haven't seen it.
Yeah, me
neither. God, that movie's so good, dude.
It's lacking.
But you saw Aquaman, right?
Nope.
Me neither.
I thought Tom took you guys out to go see that.
No, Tom hasn't seen him either.
Oh man! All right, I guess this weekend you guys got to make a little trip.
That's what we need to do. But this is my weekend.
All right, let's see what we got here for my number 3. I think we're finally going to get into the X universe here because I got Patrick Stewart as Professor X.
I can see that.
Iconic in that part, and honestly, if ever an actor were perfect for a role, Patrick Stewart is perfect for Professor X. Beyond being bald, the guy just is that character. He just has the teacher-like qualities, the mentor. He seems powerful. He seems like he could do amazing things. This is an absolutely perfect casting. Are you joking me? I got issues. Are you trying to tell me Patrick Stewart is not well cast in this movie?
He was highly considered to go on my list, but
I gotta say that too. He's one of the people that was orbiting my number 5 spot for quite a while.
Yeah,
this one was on my list from the get-go, and I thought about Magneto, but for me, Patrick Stewart is Professor X. Yeah. He is absolutely perfect. He has all those teacher qualities but he seems powerful. He seems like he could be threatening, and he could completely control an environment with just his mind. He legit is that character. You thought the movie Garfield, Bake the Snake, is talking about Garfield now?
I think he'd be somewhere in my 6 to 10 if I was doing a top 10 list. Patrick Stewart would be in my top 10, but not 5. I'm kind of bitter too because they didn't use him very well. I think that colors my perspective a little bit. That like
it depends on the film. I would be going with X2, where he has the most to do. He's the one that's getting kidnapped. He's the one that's being manipulated in the machine. Right. He's the one that's going to. He has even that the scene when Jean Grey sacrifices. He's the one that's translating her thoughts back on the ship. And then, of course, he gives the big speech to the president at the end. Like, I think he's got a significant part in that particular film. But I do agree that he is underused in other ones. But I went with the film and the character for sure.
I just think a certain someone sucked all the oxygen out of the room on all of those films and didn't give anybody else on the cast enough room or time to shine. But
yeah, I think making Wolverine the lead in those movies was a big flaw. But I still enjoyed them.
Sure, they're enjoyable, but flawed.
Jason P says, that is actually an okay choice, John, and that hurts me to say it.
Oh.
Wow, I have really upset the chat. If you get a lot of thumbs down on this video, it's going to be because of me.
Dang, that's bad. Well, we're not done yet, so you never know.
That's true.
I have a thing for bald guys. Yeah, a barbarian, because...
Wait till they see our worst list. They might hate us even more after that. Oh.
John's secret list. Oh, jeez. Bueller's cracking me up, man. All right, Jeffrey, number 2.
Okay, so I don't know exactly what you guys' thoughts are going to be about this one or not, but it's like, because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original movie, like, you want to pick one Ninja Turtle? I'll pick Raphael because he's my favorite. But like,
dude,
literally,
that is a revolutionary pick.
But honestly, I think you could go with all the Ninja Turtles and Splinter and basically them all because to me, I thought that was a great movie. And I'm a product of the time and era that I'm from, of course, but the original movie I thought was great.
You have absolutely blown my mind. I agree, Kachung, that Cyclops is probably one of the worst used characters in the X-Men films.
I agree.
He's too good a character to be used like that. I fully agree. But I also agree that the main flaw is that it's hard for an actor to give a performance when you can't see their eyes. And that's the way he would be for the whole movie.
But I mean, we're talking about...
Imagine having them perform and never seeing their eyes. It becomes a real detriment to the audience connecting with them. So it's a real challenge.
But we're also not talking about like Emmy Award winners either. We're talking about best comic book performances, So.
Oh, I got issues is slaying me tonight. He says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is better than anything that has come out of John's face tonight.
Does he mean specifically like the TMNT movie from like 10 years ago?
No, from like 1989.
I'm dying.
Have you even seen that one?
I think Issues is talking about the crappy animated remake that was released in like the late 2000s.
No, you're talking about the original live action film, right?
The movie, like the film from the 80s.
Yeah. I can guarantee you that that's not on mine. So the odds of me, I've got 2 left. The odds of me, this might go back in the bottle tonight. I don't know. All right, Ryan.
Am I up with me?
Number 3 on your list. 2 left to share.
All right. Okay, I'm not even gonna preface it. I'm gonna really reveal it.
Whoa!
Yeah. This guy, honestly, was not even my idea. I was spitballing back and forth with a coworker at work, and he just mentioned the angry. He's not even a comic book reader, and he just mentioned the angry newspaper guy from Spider-Man. I don't know how he knew that was accurate to the comic book, but Jameson hadn't even crossed my mind. And it's perfect, and it's so perfect that they have been scared to use him in any film since then.
Right, he's spot on. Oh, look at I got Issues says Ryan, fantastic pick. So we finally have something that Issues liked.
Hey, Alec from Whitewell Comics says I think John intentionally picked wacky picks so he wouldn't have to drink.
Oh. This is my truth list. And I'll tell you, number 2 is my most obscure one on here. So I'm really looking forward to this. Yeah, I love J.K. Simmons. Obviously, Academy Award winner, really talented guy. But his portrayal is phenomenal.
In terms of like just leapt off the page and right onto the screen, I think he might even deserve a higher spot than number 3 on my list here. But if only because he was barely around, I guess, retrospectively speaking. But I don't know.
I think that's a good solid pick. You know what? Like I didn't even think of that one. It didn't like really come to my mind, and I kind of.
Mr. Garrell said, "I'm sorry, I lost him." That Jeffrey is amazing, and he's making very bold choices. Yeah, for sure. I agree. He's outside the box like me.
I'm always outside the box.
I think of J. Jonah Jameson, and that's a great one. I feel like John owes some drinks. This is a great question. White Whale says, does Mark Hamill as the Joker count? And we discussed this a lot because obviously that's a TV series, but then they made
the movie
2 films using him, Mask of the Phantasm and stuff. So, I mean, we never really discluded voice actors, and I have him on my short list of options. And in the end, I felt like I wanted more than just a voice. As great as he is, I personally wanted something more. And I do agree Mask of the Phantasm is the best Batman movie, period.
I just don't think that I was really thinking about including animated movies just because I was trying to stick to cinematic films. But like for sure, to me, Mark Hamill probably is iconic as Joker, at least as far as the voice. That's what you always think about.
I'm glad you mentioned.
I got issues is shouting out, stop. No one is going to acknowledge Buckaroo Banzai. He's leaving now. John is not. No, I haven't started yet. Haven't been drinking. All right, number 2 on mine.
Buckaroo Banzai is a good movie.
Way off the charts. And people will probably say they've never seen this movie, but I absolutely love this movie because I love Crumb and I love offbeat movies. This is Paul Giamatti as Harvey Pekar in American Splendor.
I've seen that movie.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
This is a movie about a comic book creator and artist named Harvey Pekar.
Harvey Pecker? It's Pekar.
Yes. He was very popular with the Crumb era. It is an absolutely amazing movie, but he made comic books not about superheroes, about his own life and his trip through cancer and his challenges raising a kid. And it's an absolutely phenomenal movie, unbelievable movie. He is great in it. And on top of that, the movie is like part animation because it shows they animate some of the comic book. It's part documentary because the real Harvey Pekar is in the movie. And there's even moments when Pekar and Giamatti are in scenes together, and it's like spot on, this performance. He is so unbelievably good. And to be on screen with the real life person you're playing and still hold your own when somebody as weird as Harvey Pekar, it's phenomenal.
I have literally nothing to say.
You guys are hurting me today since I got issues. Yes, it is a left field pick. I totally agree. It's on my shelf. I can pull it if you want, although clearly a lot of movies are on my shelf. That does not really negate one thing.
No, I've seen it.
But it is an absolutely good movie. I'm glad White Whale Comics is like, I know who this is, because that's awesome. Because not only is he an iconic like comic book creator and writer, but he's way outside the box.
I got issues says that we're punking them because we're getting
I'm not punking you issues. This is legit my list. But don't worry, I think you'll like number 1 at least.
Oh,
I don't think that should count as a comic performance, says Jason P. It's a comic book character.
Yeah.
He writes comic books about himself.
I mean,
as a host, I will allow it.
You should definitely see that movie, though, Ryan, if you haven't. It is.
I have not. I've never heard of it.
It's an oddball movie, dude. It's weird.
It is weird and awesome. All right. Jeffrey, number 2.
I already did number 2.
If Alec allows it, then that's all that matters.
I'm at number 1, so.
Yeah. What's your number 1? Let's do it. Last one.
I got Wonder Woman Gal Gadot.
There you go. I really considered her, but I kept going back to the problem for me was Linda Carter is Wonder Woman. So
I don't even know who Linda Carter is. I'm sorry.
I know who she is, but I've never seen the show.
I know who Gal Gadot is.
For shame, Jeffrey.
Yes.
TJ, what are we going to do with this baby in the chat here? Doesn't know who Linda Carter is. TJ, back me up here, brother.
I got to tell you, I thought that was an extremely good movie. And I thought that she really portrayed the character of Wonder Woman pretty awesomely.
So at least I Got Issues can agree with me on Linda Carter.
He's pointing out that I didn't see Superman until this week. That's true.
I agree. Gal Gadot is definitely going to be, for a lot of people, the iconic vision of Wonder Woman for a long, long time.
Yeah, I thought
for me, it was just the other way. It was just different.
Yeah, no, I thought that she is Wonder Woman. Like, right?
TJ, youngsters, damn millennials. All right, Ryan, time to reveal your last one, number 2. That was my number 6. That was the one I left off.
Who?
Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds.
I'm not even a fan of Deadpool as a character, but I don't think you can deny that I cannot imagine anybody else pulling that off in the way that he was able to on so many levels, even off camera. Like, that guy is Wade Wilson. Like,
and admittedly, he's a guy that could conceivably be on both ends of this list. One for Deadpool number 1, like you're saying,
and one for like 5 different movies.
Well, we talked about 5 other movies, but like specifically Wolverine Origins, where he plays the same character and it's completely ruined.
Forgot about that. I feel like he wants to drink 5 drinks just for these picks, Mr.
Well, I'll do one for you guys because I'm shocked that my number 1 is on nobody's list. But TJ, I think it's because of, like you're saying, it's these millennial youngsters that my number 1's not on anybody's list.
That's it. Drink up.
Woo.
Yep.
Yeah. Number 1 for me has always been and always will be Christopher Reeve, who is Superman. Nobody else is Superman. Nobody. I've seen other actors try this. They cannot even do half of what Christopher Reeve did. Christopher Reeve will always be Superman. Fact. And that first film not only is just iconic and amazing, but he does things in that movie that all other Supermen have tried to do. Like, let's just go with flying. I've never seen another Superman fly and actually look like they're flying. Christopher Reeve, legit, when they're flying him on the wires it's just, he is Superman.
You had me up until the flying. I watched it like a couple days ago, and
John brought it back with his last pick.
Yeah, that's true. You earned some points there.
Yeah, right. Well, I think Issues has already left, so I don't know that he's in here to say anything about that.
It doesn't look like he's in here anymore.
I think he's still here.
He's always watching.
I think he passed out somewhere. Ooh. Well, there's some good one. Yeah, if you've got one in the chat that we didn't mention, throw it out. I saw Jackie Earle Haley as Rorschach is a great one, and I really considered him for sure. And I, as far as the MCU, I considered Chris Pratt as Peter Quill in a big way. And of course, Tony Stark, I considered in a big way, but they just didn't make the list.
The only other person, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, like, I put a lot of consideration into like a Batman, but I gotta be honest, like when I really thought about it, I don't feel like, not that any of the actors like weren't good, but I don't feel like they like Bruce Wayne, like, I don't know, I didn't feel like really any of the actors like fit up to what I thought of as like the Bruce Wayne Batman character. Like Michael Keaton is probably my favorite Batman, but like Michael Keaton as a person, just I don't really feel like I don't know, I didn't think of him as a genuine like a Bruce Wayne. So
yeah, was there a Christopher Reeve best flying responsibility? Oh, I Got Issues. That's funny and inappropriate, as I expect from you. I agree with Chris Evans is Captain America, and I think he will be long time sort of considered to be that character. It seems like now, though, people are throwing out jokes. Although Ant-Man, Paul Rudd as the second Ant-Man is very, very good. But people are starting to throw out the joke ones, which is perfect
because that's what
our second top 5 that we're finishing the night with is the 5 worst portrayals in film. The 5 ones that are so bad that it's possible nobody has actually fully recovered from the experience of seeing those films.
Boom.
And it's funny, I've got 2 from the same movie.
Oh man, that was one of our rules.
Yeah.
Wait, we have a rule about that?
That was a 1 per movie because it's easy to pick the whole cast of Batman and Robin, but you gotta.
Okay, then I gotta make a change here last second. You guys can. You know what? I'll replace Alicia Silverstone with Ryan Reynolds from Wolverine Origins.
So you just threw at number 5?
Just to throw my number 5, it's gonna be Ryan Reynolds in Wolverine Origins. So bad.
Right.
I'm gonna
Should I go through my whole list, or are we gonna dip around?
Let's dip around.
But,
all right. So what's your number 5 then, Jeffrey?
Mine, I have Rogue from X-Men, Anna Paquin.
Ooh, good one.
Very good choice.
Garbage, right? Like, I don't know. Like, when I think of Rogue, that is not what I think of.
Can I slip in right here and say that?
Right now, hold on. I got issues. Are you complaining that Ryan Reynolds in Wolverine Origins is good? I'm confused about this statement.
I skipped that movie.
It's not good. And John takes the lead, says Mr. Garrell. All right, so go ahead, Ryan. What do you want to say?
I picked, even though we had the no multiple choices per rule, while we're on the subject of X-Men, I picked the entire cast except Xavier, Wolverine, and Magneto. And
totally could see that. I just was sticking with 1.
Oh, that's good.
If I had to narrow it down to 1, I think the one character that was most disserviced by the X-Men, the original trilogy anyway, was Cyclops, like we discussed earlier. I picked Cyclops as like one of the biggest. It wasn't so much a bad performance, but like he just got the short end of the stick.
I would argue that if we're picking portrayals and performances, the one who got most abused is Halle Berry as Storm.
Ooh.
I gotta tell you, like,
it blows it. And she's doing an accent in one movie. She's not doing an accent. It's almost, Olsen in the Infinity War.
I'm gonna tell you, my 5th, it was down to between Rogue and Cyclops. Cyclops was right there with it, but I ended up going with Rogue because I just thought that.
Well, and Jason P makes the point that bad writing shouldn't be the factor. It's got to be the acting, the part that the actor can control. Right. And definitely, that's definitely all of them suffered from the writing, but which ones were suffering from the performer as well? And I think Anna Paquin and Halle Berry were blown.
Did okay with what he was given.
And Marsden is, he's a pretty bland actor in general. But
yeah, I didn't. So.
All right, so my number 4, I saw some people mentioning him earlier, is Nicolas Cage as the Ghost Rider. I'm sorry. That guy, not only is he just way too old, he's just horrible as Johnny Blaze. He is not that character.
It was definitely one that was thought about being on my worst list.
The problem I had with picking the worst performances is a lot of these movies, when they came out, did not pass my sniff test. And I never saw Ghost Rider because I knew I would not like it. And so I couldn't pick him.
I never saw the second one, but I saw the first one, and that was enough for me.
Yeah.
No,
Carlito Classito says that Olsen has an excuse for losing her accent because Black Widow trained her to lose her accent to hide better, straight from the Russians. The Russos, sorry, straight from the Russos. The Russo brothers must have informed that decision. That's funny. All right, so what's your next one there, Jeffrey? Sorry.
Next up, I have Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield.
Oof.
Did not like that at all.
Yeah, that is weak sauce. Absolutely. It's hard because pick the worst Spider-Man. That's definitely the one that I would go to, but that's just me. I know that Ryan's shaking his head. He likes that. He hates on that Topher.
Not only do I dislike Toby the most, I think Garfield is unfairly maligned for.
I think it's all fair. Yeah, I don't think it's good, man.
I'll accept your displeasure with Andrew Garfield.
Would you
argue
I'll
accept that you don't agree with that? That's totally fine.
Would you argue, Ryan, that that's a case of the writing and not the actor being the problem?
I don't know.
Those movies are horribly written. Those two Amazing Spider-Man movies are.
I think he's a bad actor, man.
The writing is bad.
I watched him in Silence with Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese's movie Silence with Adam Driver.
Oh, that might have made Spider-Man good.
That really changed my mind on Andrew Garfield.
They should have did that in Amazing Spider-Man. It probably would have been better.
Ugh.
I agree that the whole Clooney Batman crew could be thrown out, and that's my next pick on my list. I think he's that one, right? Arnold as Mr. Freeze.
That's next on your list?
Next on my list would be Arnold as Mr. Freeze. That character is way too good to have Arnold Schwarzenegger in like fake metal, plastic garbage.
I have him on my list. He's number 2 as my worst performance because he is the absolute complete opposite of what Mr. Freeze should be, in my opinion. Complete opposite.
John takes a drink.
Oh, everybody's on that list?
I didn't.
I didn't yours too?
I picked Batman and Robin, everyone in parentheses, but I didn't. How do you choose one person?
That's why I went with Schwarzenegger, because out of all of them, I felt like he was the most complete opposite and just bad out of them all. I mean, you're right. I agree that all of them could have probably.
Alicia Silverstone would have made my list too.
She was, particularly bad. I
love Barbara Gordon, and that was no Barbara Gordon. All right, sorry, JP, I'm here. Jason P, I'm here.
I'm going to join you because why not? And also because everyone sucks in that movie.
Hello, folks, and I'm here.
Woo.
All right, so
I have a couple that we haven't discussed, actually.
What?
I've got like 3 that we haven't gotten to.
Okay, then go ahead, because I only got 2 left.
Me too.
Jesse Eisenberg.
He was a thought to be on mine. Yeah, I thought about him real hard, but I didn't put him on. It was close.
I had a good talk with a different coworker last night about his performance, and at first I was kind of sticking up for him because I feel like I was giving him a little bit of rope, because I think they were laying the groundwork for something like in a sequel or 2 if they had taken off like they'd wanted to. I was interested to see what was going to happen with Lex Luthor, but taken as is with one film, I guess no, he was just in that one movie. It was bad. It was bad. It was irredeemable. And as a one-shot performance, I think it deserves a spot on the list because he was.
Yeah, it's a belly flop. It's a spectacular belly flop.
Yeah. I'm picking Eisenberg.
All right.
Well, I agree with that pick. That's worthy of being on the list, I think.
Somebody has to throw some shade at the Fantastic Four movies. I'm going to go with Julian McMahon as Dr. Doom. I love that character too much to see that guy as Dr. Doom. Such a pansy as Dr. freaking Doom.
I think
unacceptable to me.
I just in my head, like, I didn't pick that movie at all because I felt like everybody kind of knows that one sucked. So I was just like, whatever. I think like that's a horrible movie. Right? Like, am I wrong? Is that because I felt
no?
Like
they have not.
I felt like a
good Fantastic Four movie. Period. So
yeah,
they've tried like what 5 times now.
Like I kind of like that first one with Christopher Evans, and it wasn't bad. I don't think, but
that's the one I'm talking. That's the Doom I'm talking. He's in that one. That's the bad guy in that one.
Oh yeah,
Doom in that one.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. Okay, I thought you were talking about the other one, the one with like all the newest one. That one was horrible.
They're all bad. There's no good. I actually didn't even see the newest one. I didn't need it.
I started watching it around Christmas time. It was on TV. I got like 5 minutes into it and lost.
Wait, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah, right. I think I started talking to Ryan and he forgot about it.
There you go. I'm more interested.
Top 5. Okay, Issues says his top 5 best are Heath Ledger as the Joker, Hugh Jackman as Old Man Logan, Fassbender as Magneto, Schreiber as Sabretooth, and then Dr. Manhattan, Billy Crudup. I would say I fully discounted Hugh Jackman and Heath Ledger because for me, that is not my vision of the Joker, and that is not my vision of Logan. I even rewatched Logan just to be certain I felt about it, and that is not how I see Wolverine. And that is, as much as I love Heath Ledger as the Joker, he is not my vision of the Joker. Mark Hamill would be above it as far as iconic performers as that character. I would give him as so. I would say that that's probably my favorite Batman. No, live action Batman is that Dark Knight film. But for me, I discounted Heath Ledger and Hugh Jackman like right off the bat. You liked? I just caught up with you. Like Liv Schreiber as the Sabretooth?
I don't know.
That's the same movie that I was just throwing shade at earlier.
From Origins?
I would say something, but I forgot what I was going to say. So now I'm just going to keep talking and see if anybody notices that I'm not saying anything important. What about you guys?
Well, how many do you have left that you have to mention for your worst, Jeffrey?
Two.
All right, you throw one out because I've only got one left.
Okay, so this would have been my number 3 pick. I went with Joker from Suicide Squad, Jared Leto.
Ooh, don't let Russ hear about that one.
I think it was inevitable that we had to have a Joker conversation at some point in this video. I'm pretty honestly surprised that none of us picked Heath Ledger. I ruled him out relatively early on too. But
I would have went with Nicholson over Heath Ledger.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, for me, like I want a Joker that is the iconic vision I have for Joker, and as much as I love Heath Ledger's version, it doesn't jive with the version that I grew up reading and enjoying. That's my Joker, and he did a really cool alternative version that fits into Nolan's world really well.
Hey, look, Sasquatch said Danny DeVito top 5 is Penguin.
There you go. So I would just put like hashtag not my Joker.
Right.
Russ would agree.
And I love the film, and I love him in the film, and he deserves his Oscar, and it's all amazing. It's just not the Joker it's not my vision for the Joker.
No, not really mine either.
So for a list like this, it wouldn't work. It's not my vision for that character. Top 5 for Ryan. He's Joe Ryan, sorry. He says Downey Jr., Josh Brolin. So he's agreeing with you, Ryan. Jackie Earle Haley as Rorschach, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and Joker Heath Ledger. There you go.
Yeah. Is it weird to say that it feels like a cop-out to say that I haven't been disappointed with any Joker that I've seen, except maybe like even Cesar Romero, I think has
yeah, you got to give Caesar some love for sure.
I think they've all been cool and entertaining in their own way for the moment that they existed and for the universe that they were created for.
The Jared Leto one still really bugs me.
It does. It was, to me, like, I don't know. You look at that.
I agree with what you're saying.
There's that Joker that Heath Ledger played was just some, I don't know. It just wasn't the Joker. I didn't think like it was like anybody could have played some gangster with looked like that's all it was. It was just some, I don't know, thug guy. Like, I
agree that Ledger's performance is insane, and it's captivating, and it's powerful in that movie, and it is absolutely in that movie. It is nothing short of mind blowing, but it's not my. It doesn't connect to my comic book love of the Joker in any way. It is totally removed from the comic book world. It's a whole other thing. And for me, that's what this list was about. Was these are the representations of those characters that are iconic for me to their comic book versions.
Yeah, I don't know. I just turned off by that version. Didn't really work for me.
One of my
that's a good point. Issue makes the point that Logan might work better for Hugh Jackman as that character because it removes him from the physicality because he's so weakened. And I agree that's the version I would have picked, but I still just couldn't get around the fact that it's just not, again, hashtag not my Logan.
Gray Matter Hulk.
So Ryan, you got 2 left. Sorry, what were you saying?
Gray Matter Hulk is saying that Nolan tried to ground the characters and change them a bit, and because that whole universe existed in the real world, so to speak.
Yeah,
all of them were kind of adapted and tinkered a bit to be like more grounded and less fantastic and silly.
Yeah, that whole movie was actually could have been on my list. I just picked the performance I thought was the worst. Went with Joker.
Well, and the Nolan films, I love that universe and I love that form. It's just not the vision I have for any of those characters. So I enjoy those movies and I own those movies and I watch them regularly. But as far as connecting to my vision for those characters, it just didn't do it. So yeah. Ryan, you got 2 left or 1 left?
I also I have Ryan Reynolds on both of my lists.
Hey, that's totally possible.
You could make a top 5 worst Ryan Reynolds performances in comic book movies, and it would be packed.
I picked Green Lantern.
There you go. Had to be.
For about 30 seconds, I wrestled with the idea of putting him on my favorites performance list, and then I was like, "Oh wait, no, that's foolish." I think there's plenty of room for somebody to come and improve on what he did. And while there were certainly flaws with the script and the direction of that film, I don't think he quite nailed Hal Jordan.
No, not at all. I think he was way too Van Wilder for me.
Do you think anybody could have saved that movie though? Does it matter that Ryan Reynolds was or wasn't Hal Jordan?
I got the feeling that they had shaped it around his ability to like improv, and so a lot of little sequences became funny because they were like, "Oh, we'll add a little humor in here," and it was like that's not really his version of humor for that character, I guess.
Sinestro was perfect in that movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Like he almost made my honorable mentions like top 10 favorites. Like he also had nothing to do, and that was another situation where they laid some groundwork for something that ultimately went nowhere, which was disappointing. But he, I think, was the lone bright spot in that film. It was Sinestro.
Yeah. All right, well, my last one on the worst list is, I guess, the only woman on any of my lists. It's Halle Berry as Catwoman in Catwoman. I'm sorry, but that character deserves way better than that performance. Holy guacamole.
I skipped that one too.
I don't think there's anything that could have saved that. I don't even think that. Honestly, I'm not even sure if like they had a different actor play Catwoman in that movie. It could have saved that one. That one was bad. It was bad.
Ooh, Issues has a good worst list. Eisenberg as Lex, Spacey as Lex, Clooney as Batman, Michael B. Jordan as Human Torch, and Edward Norton as the Hulk.
The only problem I got with that one of Issues is like, well, maybe you don't feel the same way I do, and that's cool too. But I think the Eric Bana performance as Hulk was probably worse than that.
I like seeing everyone's lists in the chat. That's something
cool.
I anticipate.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Some people shouting out love for Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman over Halle Berry. And I'm sorry if that's your wife, Mr. Garrell, that you like that Halle Berry. She's a very pretty lady. She just can't act in comic book movies anymore. I think it's a really important thing. We need to really just end that.
It's for the best.
I kind of liked her as Storm.
I like Storm too much for that.
Yeah.
No good. No good. No go.
That line at the end with Toad, like totally.
Oh my God, that hurts. It's such a painful line to listen to.
I don't even remember her talking in the movie.
She zaps Toad and says, "Do you know what happens to frogs when they get struck by lightning?"
Oh yeah,
the same thing that happens to everything else. That's her like Arnold Schwarzenegger-esque like comeback line.
I was probably just staring at her, lost in space.
Oh, I hated that shit.
All right, so Ryan, you got one left, or wait, does Jeffrey have one left?
I have one left.
All right, Jeffrey, let's hear it.
Number 1, Hulk 2003, Eric Bana, worst performance in a comic book movie.
Baby. And some people were throwing him under the bus earlier, but it seems like
some people like him too.
Norton.
I don't know. I'd rather watch that Edward Norton movie all day than that first one.
I never get to the first Hulk movie.
Yeah,
I saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
I think I saw it in the theater twice. I don't know why.
Right, Mr. Guerrero? Who was listening to her?
All right, that leaves our last worst.
I got one.
Yeah, you both have your worst still, don't you?
No, I've already done my worst. I'm done.
Oh.
I started the worst list. Although you could argue that I got issues since I started the worst list a lot earlier tonight.
I didn't put my 5 worst in any particular order, and the last one I have is almost. Actually, no. Yeah, I guess he counts. When I was picking these 5, I clearly went with people who were written poorly or just disserviced, not necessarily bad performances, but characters who got shafted due to whatever reason, whether it was performance or for like screenplay reasons or screen time reasons. I picked Kevin Costner as Pa Kent.
Oh wow! Outside the box.
Yeah, that scene where he says he should have let the kids on the bus drown because it meant keeping his secret as Superman. Like that, especially after watching the original film the other day, and also reading comic books and knowing how that character is and how he had such an important formative role on Superman's moral system.
Right.
That scene kind of just betrays everything that Superman is about, I feel like.
Could you argue that that's a writing flaw and not an acting flaw?
Definitely. Yeah. I'm thinking that my list was picked more for characters that were drafted instead of bad actors.
TJ throws out Julie Newmar as Catwoman. You got to go Batman 66, old school Catwoman. That's pretty awesome.
She wasn't bad, was she?
A lot of people throwing out Ben Affleck, whether it was Daredevil or Batman. They're just throwing out Ben Affleck's name. And Ka-Chung, I got to say, I really considered this one that he is shouting out, which he jokingly says Ted as Constantine, which is a hysterical way to say it.
Teddy Ruxpin?
Keanu Reeves as Constantine is one of the most just ridiculous casting decisions ever. Like, how do you cast this California surfer guy as this British private investigator guy? Like, it just... it defies logic.
Because it was 2005?
Somewhere in there, yeah.
That's why. Because it was peak Keanu. It was like right after The Matrix. Like, he was in demand. And that was also the era of shitty action movies. Like Underworld. Movies that were released in the early mid-2000s. Like Underworld that I'm all over.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's possible that I Got Issues has just lost all of his credibility. He agrees with Chad that Batfleck is great. I'm like, I don't know what is happening with I Got Issues. That he's got problems with me picking Professor X, but he's willing to support the Batfleck.
I don't mind him as that version of Batman. He's
I don't mind.
Sorry, he was agreeing that Daredevil was bad, not that Batfleck was good. Okay, good. I was worried about you. I was worried about your issues.
Are we talking about Daredevil or are we talking about Batman?
He's talking about both, but it sounds like some people are making some comparisons.
Okay, yeah, because I'm sticking up for Batfleck.
Yes, you're sticking up for Batfleck, not for nobody stands up for Daredevil.
You know, I haven't had a problem with any of the actors who played Batman. Actually, I thought they've all fairly been well portrayals. It was like done a good job as Batman. Like I like Christian Bale.
Watch Clooney.
Oh, that's right. You know what? I wasn't thinking about him or Val Kilmer.
Yeah, or Val Kilmer. Okay, you can rewatch.
I was going straight from Michael Keaton to Christian Bale.
I agree. Sasquatch, Keanu Reeves is great in a lot of things. He's a really talented guy. And I would argue that Keanu Reeves knows how to pick movies really well because he picks good stuff. He's just not right for John Constantine. That is a horrible casting decision.
Boom, 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 boom.
Wow. I'm impressed that I got through that list without as much of a debacle as it was.
Yeah, I think you guys thought we were going to all have the same list or something. John.
I can't believe nobody had Christopher. I guess it's my luck that I'm on with you guys who are so much younger than me that nobody would have Christopher Reeve as Superman on their list. I thought that was like a lock.
I seriously considered him, and I was prepared to completely not like that movie at all. And I was surprised at how much I actually did. And he really is the definitive Superman, I got to say. I mean.
Well, Ed, there's great stuff on the behind the scenes that I've seen over the years of him where they talked a lot about how many people they tried to go through and find for that role. And one of the things that he did really well was this sort of Cary Grant performance. Ooh. Where Cary Grant was known for playing the sort of like bumbling, glasses wearing like nerd on occasion. And his impression of Clark Kent in Metropolis is straight up Cary Grant. Like he nails that impression of Cary Grant as Clark Kent. It's so good. And then they said what really set them off as knowing that he was the right actor was they put him in the wires and they flew him and he put his hands out in front of him, which none of the other actors were doing. And they were like, that's the guy. That's the guy.
I like the Dean Cain version on TV.
Oh, that's solid. I like Dean Cain.
I watched that show so much when I was a kid. That was like one of my favorite shows growing up.
He's just no Christopher Reeve.
Terry Hatcher was always cool as Lois Lane.
And by the way, the Superman film is also really good, Ryan. You should try that one.
They took that off the DC Universe app.
What?
Yeah, you don't get that app, by the way. It's cool, but stick to a different one. That's a whole different topic.
Okay.
But yeah, the first one is on there, but none of the sequels. They got rid of those. I'll have to find those some other way.
So this was a lot of fun. This is our third time doing top 5 as a show. You can catch the first 2 if you look through my the videos on my channel. They're a lot of fun. We did top 5 episodes of Lost most recently. And then before that, we did our 5 favorite villains, Ryan and I. It was really fun having you on with us, Jeffrey. That was a blast.
Yeah, for sure. I had a great time, man.
Gene Hackman is the best Lex Luthor, but I still would argue that they have not had a definitive Lex Luthor performance as of yet. I do think it was very funny that Gene Hackman refused to shave his head, so they had to do this whole like wigs thing as a joke, running gag all through those movies. Very, very funny. He refused to shave his head.
Bonesaw. Great. Good call, Sasquatch. Bonesaw from Spider-Man. Macho Man.
That's funny.
Bonesaw's ready. All right, well, so thank you for coming by. Make sure you subscribe to Ryan because we'll probably be bouncing these episodes back and forth between his channel and my channel. Now he's got that sweet background behind him. Dude is pimped out.
I try sometimes.
So I don't know when the next one of these will be. I don't even know what our next topic is going to be next time. We try to bip around and pick different things every time. So you just don't know when it's going to happen. But when it does, hopefully you're all here and really enjoy it. Yes, I do a good Bonesaw impression. Thank you, Sasquatch.
We got to do Battlestar, but probably not next.
We do, yeah. We will eventually have Alec, White Whale Comics, on for a favorite episodes of Battlestar Galactica. When Ryan has officially caught up, he needs to get on that stat. Because I'm ready, and I know Alec already says Alex got his 5 picked already.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
I really got to rewatch. I don't even remember 5 episodes of that show, really.
So get on it.
Yep.
I don't even know if it's streaming anywhere, so you might be out of luck on that one.
It's on Hulu. I've already got it.
Okay, good.
Queued up.
Now that 24 is over.
Not quite. He hasn't stopped all the terrorists yet, so there is still time.
Oh, man.
Never stops.
John's list gets a D+. Thank you, Carlito. I like the plus. I'll take the plus.
Okay.
All right, everybody. I won't see another episode because John made me suicidal to say goodbye, cruel world. Oh, Issues, you are a riot, man. Love the panda. Gotta love the panda. All right, everybody. Ryan, this is your channel. You can log us out, dude.
I can say good night.
Thank you, Comic Zombie.
Woo! Good night to everybody in the chat. I will probably be passing out. I've snatched a couple hours of sleep here and there today, but never enough. Oh, I'm very glad you guys joined me on my channel. This was really fun. And
This was great, dude. I loved it.
For sure.
Oh, all right. Farewell, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Night.